Hi, I'm Carrie Brumbach. I'm a teacher in Central Oregon, in Redmond, Oregon specifically. I teach 7th and 8th grade language arts, and I'm in my 13th year of teaching. And this is my husband, Aaron.
Hi, I'm also a teacher. I teach language arts and history at the high school level here in Redmond.
Just a little bit about my background. I started with Decision Education Foundation in 2015 with the Summer Bridge Program, as it was called then, in Elmira, Oregon, working at Elmira High School with our incoming freshmen. I did that for 2 years in the summer and then made a transition to Central Oregon. Over the course of the last 5 years with DEF, I know personally and as an educator that decision education and decision quality is not limited to the classroom.
In August of 2020, Aaron was released from the hospital after his bone marrow transplant was successful. And over the course of the next 4 months, we would learn that not only was Aaron's bone marrow transplant successful, but he is in complete remission and has absolutely no cancer and no genetic mutations anymore.
Yep. And our lives are still intact and we're together. And
Yeah.
now we have a very different lens in which we view our lives.
We can extend this out of the classroom into our homes and into our jobs and into our personal lives. And I think that's really important.
This is where our decision training and the kinds of decisions you make when you have decision training, it's a lot. I don't want to say easier to make decisions because cancer makes nothing easy.
And it makes some decisions for you.
And it does. Yeah. Some decisions you just
difficult.
can't, it takes the decisions out of your hands. But what's interesting about this is that you start looking at your situation with cancer, with Aaron's cancer being in the hospital, and you start pulling out those decisions and those aspects of the treatment that you really can take control of and make decisions about.
Those who have had decision education background and those who have gotten those skills have a little bit of a leg up navigating those really hard and tough decisions that we're dealing with in this environment that we find ourselves in education and in our personal lives.
We had conversations about what we value, and I think what it came down to is going through this process of what kind of decision are we making, what do we value here, what are the alternatives.
Yeah.
Because there were some options. It wasn't like we just had to choose the most aggressive treatment, but there were some options.
Yeah, I could have went with something that would have prolonged life. So, you can go through not as aggressive types of chemotherapy and it can guarantee you, a few years, but it doesn't guarantee you a cure. And nothing guarantees you a cure.
Yeah.
But I was 35 at the time, which is still pretty young. Our kids were young. And so I want to see my kids grow up.
Through the years, I've helped kids navigate extreme peer pressure and stressful situations. I've helped kids navigate academics versus sports using all of these decision education skills. I've helped students navigate conversations with parents, conversations with their teachers, with best friends, with other family members and relatives.
In the medical world, in Aaron's situation, you have to make decisions quickly, but we also wanted to make the right decision. So I think we took 24 hours to kind of think about this and ended up going with the most aggressive plan that was, only tested in 5 different cases. And, we had a huge panel of doctors and assistants kind of talk to us about, like, this is probably going to be Aaron's best chance at a long, full, healthy life.
Yeah. Or at least as close as you can
have to it. Yeah.
You go through something like that.
So that was a major decision we had to make just right off the bat. Like, I'm talking within the first 3 days after Aaron's diagnosis.
Decision skills and decision quality is something that is timeless. It is ageless as well. This is something that our students, our staff, our school boards, parents, anybody within the realm of, making decisions, which is all of us, we can all benefit from decision education's decision quality and decision skills.
Now that I've had decision education training, and Aaron has kind of walked that path with me too, with decision education, seeing what that has done for, just making decisions, we make decisions a lot more soundly now. We use a lot more language tailored to like, do we have enough information? Do we know what we value? What is it exactly we're deciding? And we're not necessarily taking super big leaps of faith anymore. We're taking more calculated, reasonable steps to making choices. So that's what's really nice moving forward.
Yeah, and as we have progressed in life, we've been able to get into opportunities where we can make more sound decisions. Whereas when we first started out, we don't come from families that have, particularly large amounts of money. And that meant that we had to take risks in order to get to where we needed to go. And some of those risks are not necessarily risks we would take now, but at the time we had to make a decision. And that's why I think the decision education is so important, is because you have to make decisions.
Yeah, you always are. Yeah.
You want to make the best decisions you can, because that will have a huge impact on your life as you progress.
As Decision Education Foundation grows and expands, it's undeniable that it is going to filter into our lives in a positive way. I don't think there's anything that we could take away from our decision education and say that was a negative experience, I'm worse off. We're not going to be able to say that, because it just isn't going to be true. But anyway, I'm very happy to be here with you guys. That video is hard for me to watch because we have come so far as a family since Aaron's illness in 2020. I'm proud of where we are, and I know that DEF has had a hand in our success over the last couple of years. I would like to share a story that I experienced this summer, continuing to put DEF into my educational experiences. We have the benefit in our district and in many districts across the nation of excess funds from COVID relief, because we know and recognize that many of our students have had learning loss over the last 18 months from comprehensive distance learning, at-home challenges, and so forth. So what we've been able to do is implement programs that we normally wouldn't have been able to implement based on this nice excess pot of funds. This summer, our school district decided to implement a 6th grade program for incoming 6th graders to make them feel comfortable transitioning into middle school. And what's interesting is, so far, Decision Education Foundation has entered into the realm of high school, and not just for incoming freshmen, but for all levels, 9th through 12th, that has been successful. And when we look at 6th grade, man, what a great opportunity to bring in decision education, because this is like the first level of real independence as a student that our kids have, at least in Oregon and in our district. The transition from 5th grade, from a self-contained classroom of one teacher, to 6th grade, where they have in our school 6 different period changes. They have lockers now. They have many different teachers they have to acclimate to. And it's just a wild experience for incoming 6th graders. And they're being met with many decisions they now get to make and are privileged to make entering into this new area of their lives. So we call this Camp 6. We do have a Camp 9 program in Redmond, Oregon in our district, but Camp 6 is new. And because it is new, it also had a little bit of premature development. It wasn't completely secure in the curriculum that was created. And I happened to have a leadership role in my building, in my middle school, 6th through 8th grade, of being able to implement some things that I knew maybe worked in my past as an educator with a summer program. And I immediately thought of DEF and StrongStart, which is our 9th grade program. And what's awesome about the Decision Education Foundation's program is that it can be adapted and implemented at many levels. And because the tools that you have and the skills that you're learning in the program really do fit a variety of different situations. So we took
a lot of the activities that DEF has built into their program around the chain, and we implemented some of those at the earliest beginning of the chain. So frame, values, and creative alternatives mostly. And what we saw in the program is some really great success with incoming sixth graders latching on and understanding that they are going to be met with decisions. And some of those decisions are going to be challenging, and some of those decisions are going to be intimidating just because it's new and they haven't had to make those decisions in school before. We all know, probably all of us from our past, that middle school is a very challenging time in our lives. And some of us maybe have blocked it out. But what we're doing now is we're giving students tools that really can benefit their lives and help build great habits for when they transition into the next level, high school, where things have a lot more at stake as they prepare for their futures. So we're seeing some success at this earlier level now, which is exciting for DEF. It's almost like this great 20th anniversary blessing to start seeing us expand more. And I think that that is something that we should all be super excited about. This can be implemented at many levels. And as you saw in the video, all across our lives and in different professions, and we're seeing that be something of value.